This is our presentation on the Supreme Court case of McCulloch versus Maryland of 1819 by Amir Nomani and Joseph Fuentes. The background information of this case is that in 1816, Congress had established the Second National Bank of the United States in 1816. The bank was located in the state of Maryland. Many people were opposed to the opening of the national bank within their state borders due to the fact that they believed that the national bank would be competition to their own banks and believed that the opening of a national bank within their state was an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's power. In response to this, the state of Maryland imposed a $15,000 a year tax on the national bank since the bank was located within their state borders. James McCulloch, a bank clerk, refused to pay the tax and was subsequently taken to court by the state of Maryland. Originally, the court had ruled in favor of the state and against McCulloch, stating that he had broken state law by not paying the tax. However, the case was appealed and escalated all the way up to the Supreme Court.
The constitutional argument of the state of Maryland with regards to justifying the tax on the national bank was that since they're a sovereign state, therefore given the right to impose tax on any business that reside within their state border, just like how the national bank was doing in this instance. Furthermore, they also argue that establishment of a national bank, especially within their own state borders, was an unconstitutional exercise of Congress' power and should have been done in the first place. They pointed out that the delegated powers of Congress listed in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution did not explicitly include setting up a bank. Therefore, they question whether Congress got its power to establish the bank. They argue that unless the power was specifically granted to the Congress within the Constitution, then that power would remain with the states, which was the case here. The constitutional argument of McCulloch and his attorneys was the fact that establishment of a national bank was necessary and proper in order for the Congress to carry out its delegated powers. They cited how in Article 1, Section 8, it says that the Congress is given the power to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper to carry out its delegated powers, and that the establishment of a bank was necessary in order to assist the operations of the government. McCulloch attorneys also argue that if the states are allowed to tax the bank, then that power may extend to states taxing the mail, even the U.S. courts, which will lead to a catastrophic imbalance in power.
On March 6, 1819, Chief Justice John Marshall announced the Supreme Court's unanimous decision. The court ruled in favor of the bank and against the state of Maryland. The court justified the ruling by reiterating the fact that under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, Congress has the power to pass all laws that are necessary in order to carry out their delegated powers. The bank provided a means for Congress to carry out their duties by allowing for financial stability and not an over-reliance on the states for their finances, which was an issue prevalent within the Articles of Confederation. Marshall in the court also ruled that the state of Maryland did not have the power to tax the bank, since the states only had the power to tax their own people and property. The national bank, however, was an instrument that represented all of the people of the nation, and that placing a tax on the bank was indirectly placing a tax on all of the people of the nation, which was therefore unconstitutional. And this is our works cited page for the resources we use to gather the research needed to fulfill the needs of this assignment. We hope you guys enjoyed our presentation on the Supreme Court case of James McCulloch versus the state of Maryland in 1819. Thank you.